So all I did was load the game and it puts me right here. So can I zoom out? Fuck. There. Oh, this is as far as we can go. So we've only got these 3 worlds done. This is just a little too loud for me. We've only got these 3 worlds done. And it says we're at 90% though. Even though we have 2 worlds to go. So we'll see if we beat the game or not. Maddie was thinking, oh, maybe it's one of those games where like you only need a certain amount of collectibles. However, at least at the beginning, we needed a lot of cogs just to get to the next area. And so that made me think that we needed a lot of them thereafter, but maybe it's not true. I don't know. I think the electricity was the most recent one we got. Oh yeah, we got the infraring. That was really fun to use. So I think we got electricity last. I don't know where the next area is though. Something electricity related, and something that has something electricity would fix. But when I think of electricity, I think of either water, because you zappy with it or something, or I think of ground stuff or something because it makes it not good. I don't know where the next world is. We gotta find it. Is it in here? Whoa! You really have some long cats. I didn't know there was a button in here. You should always check behind a waterfall. In every video game, there's always something behind the waterfall, and if there isn't, it's a bad game. Ooh, this looks something... electricity-y? I don't know what. Maybe this, because it's supposed to be like a electric fence? No? What is this? Sevik. Ooh. Hey! There was a little generator! Hey! Hey! Hold on, we moved this thing, so we need to see what it's doing. Was it just this platform? Why did we need to move that? I already got the thing that was above that, I think. Raw fish and lime and stuff. That sounds like not food yet. I don't think we need that. I think we already got what we needed from that. God, he makes me want to gush out juices. Alright. There is... Oh! A scale. Why is there only one level? Maybe this is why there's still 2 whole levels left, because there's only one thing in here.
Did you take care of our little problem?
I tried, but he's stronger than I thought.
He's stronger than you thought. How hard can it be? It's just a little orange.
This is what I do to Katie when I'm mad.
He
I beat
has
the shit out of
friends.
her.
The bunyips are helping him.
What? Then the stakes have been raised. To take over the
What are
world, I must
bunyips?
have those talismans. I need them to open the portal to the dream time so I can banish all those annoying warm-blooded mammals once and for all.
They do.
Present company accepted, of course. Well, if our orange friend is so intent on finding the talismans, then I say let him.
Okay.
My metal menace here will take care of him and steal back the talismans to boot.
To boot!
It's so simple, it's brilliant.
No one has ever come back from this inhospitable place, so tread carefully.
Whoa. Alright, anything behind me? Just the portal. Oh wait, we gotta change our look today. Alright, you guys pick. Somebody's gotta pick. Classic. Prototype. Ridge. Flinders. Sly. Wetsuit. Doomeranger. Tasmanian Dingo. Ghost Tiger. Wetsuit. That's like the ugliest one. No offense to you, it just is. I don't know why the little nose thing is green. That's kind of ugly. Alright. Let's see if we can remember how to do anything here. You're just lightning them to death. Okay. Oh, I wonder if there's spikes here. Oh, you just liked wetness. I understand. What the fuck? Bitch. We're moister than an oyster with our wetsuit. Booyah! What the? Holy shit, camera, please. I love how aiming, so you use the right trigger to aim, but if I use it and shoot, it doesn't work. It doesn't like actually aim at him half the time. Like it doesn't. Like look at how much I'm missing. Like wait, what? Oh, I thought you were saying something. Me shooting was something like 40 school kids, and I don't know. I thought it was a school joke. I was about to kill you. Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm gonna die! So what do? I lightning him and bite him or what? Are we stuck because of this fucking thing? What's happening? No! God damn it! There we go. That was a you thing. Remember gamers, always check behind the waterfall. There's nothing. I fucking lied. I was a fool. I killed the alligator. Alligator. I don't like this. Honestly, I think the multi-ring's probably the best one for just fighting, you know? Until I need something that says needs zappy zap, right? What the hell? I'm gonna spam everything with multi-ring. Woo! Whee! Remember when I kept, like, purposefully running into these things in the way because I thought I was collecting them, meanwhile I was taking damage every time because I'm a dumb bitch? That was me in 2025. Now it's 2026 and we're skilled gamers. How come there's no things to collect down the waterfall like there was last time? Do they not think I'm good enough? This is a very boring slide. Oops. That was pretty boring. Oh god, oh god, oh god, the alligator's coming for me. Oh god. Oh god, where do I get off? Is this Flow Rider? Ah! God damn. What? No! No! Hello, gamer. My favorite part about the modern world is the doomsday clock. It's close to the midnight. Is that when the end of the world happens? Is it midnight? I can't believe it's making me do this again when there's nothing to even collect. Don't judge me. I'm a real girl with real snot powers. You wish you could be me. Fuck. I can't read when I'm trying to not die. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, woo! Supposedly when the clock hits midnight, it will be the end of humanity, civilization. Whoa, 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 whoa! Why do these guys take so much to kill? Ugh. Oh. Yeehaw! You forgot how to type? It's okay. You'll remember. You always remember. You've never typed bad in your life. Is this thing gonna come here? It did. It came here. Oh no. I'm gonna get burned. Wait, maybe if I have my frosty rang, I could freeze the fire. Nope. We're just gonna Oh, okay, never mind. We got through. I'll sink back into my internet-based degen lifestyle. Okay. I accept you the way you are. You can be degen here. That's what VTubers are for. And being in a VTuber stream means that you can be the most slutted up version of yourself imaginable. I was just thinking about how I'm so glad I came up with the word gooning. I know, because it's so relevant. Do you think I can make it up there, or am I gonna fall to my death? No, I'm not gonna make it up there. Unless I jump on that. God damn it! That wasn't a thing! Fuckerito. Oh, you're passively gooning. Like a passive skill that increases as part of your race trait. You know, the race you picked does passive gooning. The Blood Mage Gooners. That's a good band name. We're gonna burn. Never mind. It's easy to dodge that. This game is made for children and I'm an adult. At the ripe age of 5 or 6. Gamers. Alright. There's 2 ways. What? Oh, I thought that was a way up. That's not a way up, but that's where we came from. Okay. Alright. Let's not go when it's firing. No, we're not jumping into the waterfall. There's nothing in the waterfall. We checked. Ow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yo! Can I eat you? What does this sign mean? Alligators? I can't see where it's taking me. Oh. Wow. I'm so glad somebody put floating eatable object. It is like Sonic. Me, I'm an eatable object. I don't know if I need that. I probably don't. Don't need that. Don't eat that. Jesus Christ. No! Fucker. Give me a drink of this fucking THC guzzle-ma-job. This isn't Sonic. This is... Fine. Did I burp? I don't think I burped. Did I burp? Oh wait, this is where I ended up. THC breast. What the? Those spikes kill you? Why am I sliding? Apparently you slide on the edge here. I don't think this is supposed to happen. Huh. What sort of questions do you have? Wait, why did this drop me into... No! Why didn't it continue? I can't see. I don't know how to play this game. Also, I don't understand. Why is there like... Why are there cameras inside of those eatable... Oh god, I just sneezed. I came. Why are there cameras in here? Hi. Aw, Poe, but you're the man of the hour. I need that thing. How come it's doing that thing again? Whoa, 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 whoa! It's doing that thing again. It says Super Ultra Combo 2023 Zeroshu. I've come to say Panda Express. What? You bone the... My Discord, or my OBS is so fucked up right now. After a while it fixed itself though. Oh my god, my cowboy hats! Oh my god. Hold on. Hold on. What part are we in? 4? Oh my god. Good thinking. Okay, I need to pull my keyboard tray out. So what did we have? We had one on each ear, right? And then we had one in the middle, right? And then what was the one we were gonna do next? It was gonna be one here? On my little flippy, or was it something else? Maybe they were supposed to be on my little balls. That's pretty good. Thank you. You saved the day. I didn't realize we were missing something. Let me have another drink in my drink. I can't believe we forgot the hat. I think fighting that was just to get to these islands without dying from the alligator, but you know what? I don't need to not die from the alligator, see? God damn.
This is it.
Whoa!
Boy. You're about to enter Boss Cass's lair. There's a lot of strive ahead, so do your fair dinkum best to make it through in one piece.
Oh,
okay,
dinkum!
No worries. What's the matter, Maury?
Sorry, mate. I've just got something in my eye, that's all.
Dinkum.
She'll be right, mate. She'll be right.
She'll be right.
Good luck, Ty. Good luck.
Him? He's a she? Whoa. Is this the end? Did we beat the whole game? Oh, shit. Oh my god, I'm having a lot of burpage. Whoa! Oh, I can't make a thing. Is this gonna burn me? Maybe not. Maybe it's because I'm in ice mode. It looks like a button. Do we need to make Big Bertha bomb them? Oh, Jesus. It made it seem like it wasn't happening. I don't know what we're doing. There's things I need to break underwater. Oh, even the emotes are broken. It says low. Yeah, but look at these. They come at you like in an instant. Oh wait, no they don't. Not anymore. I think we glitched out the game and stream. Oh boy. I can't get up there. Oh. Do I need to press this? Is this a thing I do? No. Maybe not. Seems a little suspicious. We also did recently get the electricity. So we should be doing that, honestly. Where did he come from? I know, that was a good guess. I'm so fucking smart. Oh, that's my girlfriend! I'm sorry!
Showed those frills a thing or two. By the way, one of them dropped this.
We need that. Sexy bat lady? Oh, mamacita! I.
What are you trespassers doing in my cave?
Why is she so quiet?
A talisman.
Wow. Oh my god! Man, the animation is just epic.
Boss Cat is going to love this.
No, my girlfriend! What is that noise? Whoa! 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 Holy shit! She made the bats attack me. Whoa! 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 Oh my god. What do you think I do? Oh god. lord, they don't stop. Okay. I don't know if I'm hitting them or... Oh, I am hitting them because sometimes it's making a wow sound. What? I don't understand this game. Whoa! Is that these things? Or is that this thing? Do I... Ooh. What's in a wonder ball? Something, something, something with candy shapes inside. Ooh, I do. What's in a wonder ball? The wonder, we don't know what's in it. It's a wonder ball. No boomerangs past here. Why is the sign squished narrowly? I need that. I need that. How do I get there? Do I balance on these? No. Guess we're not getting that. No boomerangs past this point. What do you mean? I bet I can use it. Ah! Dude, that actually scared me. I didn't know there was two. Wow. Maybe this is the fast route. Hey, we got another life. Get a life. Oh! But how do I get back? I had to die to get here. What? I don't get it. Do I have to jump down there and start all over? Wow. What a bitch. All that. Now I'm gonna die getting... Whoa! Whoa! I'm gonna die trying to get back up. I don't know what that meant. Oh, fucking hell. Holy shit! I wasn't even near it. I'm getting genuinely jump scared by this game. Like I'm some kind of dumb girl. What? Maybe we don't use lightning. Whoa, wait, what's happening? Whoa, she's making out with me. I think she's shoving me in her tits. Is there a button somewhere? Yes. I don't get it. The feedback for this gameplay confuses me. It doesn't give me enough, like, information on how to proceed. I can't even reach that far. It's not like I have a farther away orang. How come it hits the wall next to it? I guess we don't go that way. No, I think we do go that way. But I can't reach. Oh, I mean, it does stay up for a while. Wait. What the? I don't remember what the Mega Ring is. Apparently that shoots farther or something. What is the Mega Ring again? There's a pie over there, but then if I go there, I'm stuck over there. Maybe not. Let's see. Yep. Wow. This game is for the birds, I tell you what. No! No! Oh my god. Oh wait, it put me back up here. I think. Is that where I go? No. Oh. They've all been bait like that. Oh my goodness, 27 years? Are you watching me at the bar? Wow, she's sucking me off. What is happening? Wow. She killed me. There's gotta be a button, I guess. Where's the button? Can you leave me alone? Where's the button? Really? I got distracted, I know. My stream is so good. Where's the button? Is there a button? This is very naughty. Where's the button? I can't see! In other news. Damn, I thought that's how I got to here, but I can't. Whoa! We brought her into the lava. She's in a different place now. Alright. Fuck. Do I need a froster? Do I need to contaminate my blood? Oh wait, there's the button! God damn it. Wow, I am on the frosty ring, so it's not doing... Oh wait, no, I hear it shooting, but she's not on the thing. Ah. Ay, ay, ay. Wait, what? Did I kill her somehow? What the hell happened?
Thanks, Possum.
Whoa. My guess is that thing was still shooting. Even though, like, she, like it was still shooting her, I guess. Okay, yeah, the Mega Ring goes farther. Farther or further? Ooh! Oh! It shoots a lot of them. No, 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 no. There's no boomerang, but I'm wondering if it's a trap. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I told you we'd meet again. I'm gonna enjoy this.
Look at his gaping holes on the side of his mouth. Face. Woo! Sheesh! Wow, I didn't even have to do it. It did it for me.
What? What are you doing? I'm giving you a hand, mate. Let go of me. You're gonna regret this.
I didn't do anything. They could have let me do that. I don't know why they... La 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 lava, Tasmanian. La 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 lava, tie. I wasn't using the zappy. Maybe this overloads it or something. No? I see a seagull out there. Maybe there's some things to collect here. What about this? Is this something? Am I just being stupid? Oh. Am I being dumb? Oh my god! Jesus Christ. Hi, Caroline. Hi. I just had to walk close enough. Hold on, I can't see what you said because it's being weird. While you were camping, I was back in the hospital. We didn't go camping yet. What happened? Did your stitches rip asunder? God damn it, I can't see the text.
I keep hearing about. Well, this is the end of the line for you, you meddling rat.
No, I went to Illinois first. Oh god, oh god. Hold on, I need to fix chat. Because it just shows me this thing. I'll have to show you in like Discord or something. Like whenever there's a new message, it's not showing like these icons. Oh. Whoa. I'll just put it in Discord voice chat text, but let me like adjust things so that I can read your messages. Ugh, it keeps cutting them off. Here, maybe this will fix it. Okay, I had a remaining gallstone in my bile duct, and I had the pains and vomits, and then they did all the tests because they're like, this shouldn't be happening. But a stray stone popped out in the nonsense of the day, and then it came home. Oh my god, and then hand, foot, mouth, and pussy disease? You're just cursed. You're cursed. So then you got hand, foot, mouth, and pussy disease. I've known adults that get that. Oh my god. Wow, that's sad. I'm sorry. Alright, what am I doing? Hold on, I'm winning. My camera is going all wacky. Oh, it follows me. Ew. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Where did I go last week? I went to Illinois to visit family for 4th of July. And then next week I go camping. I mean, camping's just part of it. It's not 100% of it. What am I doing? Wait, I got hit? Apparently I got hit again. Maybe I make them hit something with the fire. I'm getting hit, but it's not like making any noise, so it's fucking weird. And what is this gate to heaven and hell? Like, what? I'm dying. What in the fuck is this game? What? There's things down there. Appointments and contractors. What? You can come see us. You just have to put in a lot of effort. Come see us. Can I bust through this or what? Okay, what if I click on the aim button? What is it aiming at? Alright, it's gotta be one of these. The Zappy wasn't it? That's my new one. Alright, let's try a different ring. Try this one. Let's try this one. That did something. At least it makes it sound like it's hitting it. Brian said something was in a cup in the fridge. Something? It had solidified into something unholy. Alright, maybe... Can this thing stop? I need to switch rangs. The flame? Maybe if I light it more on fire? Okay. The ice? I mean, we already tried this. Doesn't last for long. Maybe if I freeze them all at the same time. God damn it. Let's see though. I don't think I can freeze them all at once. Can I freeze this? Is anyone else confused? And I died. Maybe it's this. Gotta be the eyes, right? The Mega Ring's the only one that gets that far. Why is it hitting those? I can't even aim. They make it seem like I need to hit this. Oh, maybe these ears. Yeah, turn the camera. Maybe there's a reason. Hold on. Don't kill me yet. Fuck. There's something about this. No, I don't want to look it up. I want to figure it out. What's that slamming noise? Is there a button here? They really don't give you a fucking clue. They make it look like we're walking forever. This game makes no fucking sense. I feel like I need to see the cutscene again or something. None of my rings do shit. You can't break these things. Oh! Right as Maddie left, he figured it out. Wow. Oh my god, I can't. Or do I just bite it? Did I never need to freeze it? No, I did need to freeze it. Alright.
Why, you little. I'm gonna make you pay for that. Hey, 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 hey! Stop that!
Okay. Now what? Now what? I want the Mega Ring. Now can I shoot at things? Well, now those are gone, but what does that mean? Oh, this Zappy's gone. Oh, ooh. I'm smart. Wow. I was trying to switch to the multi-rang. Damn, I skipped 2. I'm fucking baller. I'm so good at video games. I don't know why these are for boys when I'm good at them and I'm a girl. Oh, maybe they keep coming back. I think they keep coming back, so I'm gonna figure out what it needs me to do. Something with these tubes? Woo! Oh god. There's more guys. Oh, I'm just still trying to destroy these. Oh, I see at the bottom. I'm stupid. I didn't even notice that there's... Whoa! Jesus, cutscene! Whoa! Man, we should have let him die.
You'll need this.
Oh wait, he likes me.
Sly! What are you doing?
What I should have done years ago. I'm giving him a hand, mate.
Oh, he called me
I did
mate!
for you?
What? Lied to
He
me?
called me
Good
mate!
luck, Ty.
Thank you!
Traitorous Tasmanian tiger.
What is that, a gun blade? Whoa, I don't know what this does. Holy shit! Oh god, wrong way. Hold on, I got this. Can I go up here? Is this where I need to go? Whoa! 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 Maddie's missing a lot. Oh god. Oh god. I didn't know this was gonna be a Star Fox reenactment. No! God damn it. I'm blind. Help. Okay, up is up, down is down. Up, up, down, up. Why does it sound like a train? Ding ding! Oh, the wind could blow me a little bit. Why are there police car noises? There's train and police car noises. This is giving me anxiety. Not that I didn't already have it. Whoa. Whoa! Maybe I'm just going in circles and there's an ending and I'm missing it every time. Oh lord. I feel like I'm going the wrong way on account of the lights are pushing me backwards. This feels too long to be the proper direction. Do I turn around? Oh god. At least I'm getting some good practice. Fuck! None of that made sense! Okay, let's go... I don't know. Different way. There must be things we need to break in here. What looks breakable? Let's go left this time. Oh god, I got all tripped up. Nothing looks breakable yet. Why are his... Whoa, 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 whoa. Why is this monkey's arteries so in depth? We've got to be getting somewhere. Oh? Oh, I thought this was something new. Are we going somewhere? Oh, we're following the lines finally. What? That wasn't winning? That was just a dead end? What? I don't get it. Oh my god, Brian's talking, but I'm gaming. I can't read it. Somebody read it out loud. Alright, we need to go left again, just to see. Because that did lead us into angling us towards the lights going the way that we're going. Oh god, oh Jesus Christ! This is freaking me out. Welcome back. The moment you left, we figured out what we needed to do. Surely going towards the lights is the right way. We must have missed another fork in the road that wasn't gonna take us to a bad place. Surely there's another fork in the road that'll take us to a good area. Or is it gonna take us right back to the ending again? We got killed. This is where we got killed last. Is there not a hole to go in? I'll try to go right again. Do I need a different ring? No, this is the only ring that goes in here like this. So it's like purely flying around that we're doing. Alright, we're gonna go right now. This is what we did the first time. A mood ring. Alright, go down. Oh, go up. Oh, fuck! A diamond ring. Fuck! I swear we were going the right way. Sorry, I forgot my up from my down. Oh god. Oh god. Okay, go right. We got this. It's a tight turn, but we got this. Right here. Oh god. We're going the right direction. I think. See the lights? I swear, if this is a dead end again, I'm gonna scream. It's a dead end again! What? Wait, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I don't get it! Let me test out this boomerang real quick. Can I explode? No, I can just crash into things. That's it. That's all I can do is crash into things. I don't know how to destroy the laser beams. I don't know if that really works. Okay, let's try to do that. Because there's other laser beams. Oh god. Yeah, alright, let's test it out on some other laser beams here. Okay. Maybe if I go through the laser beam, it supercharges me and then I zoom straight into the wall. No, it kills me. Ugh. Damn, that's as far as I can go. What if I go all the way down to his hand? Maybe it's... maybe... the other boomerangs don't do that. Yeah. Doomerang. Wait, maybe there's information. I think there's information about the rangs. No. I thought there was information about the rangs. I don't know. There must be another way to go. Those, okay, hear me out. Those just must have been the 2 dead ends, and maybe there's one that keeps going, right? So, we're gonna go right again, but then we're not gonna go down that hole. But the thing is, we've already done this before, but there must be another turn to take. So don't go in that hole, keep going in this hole. But now there's gotta be another turn somewhere. And they probably went left. So... I think I just saw a turn. Not sure. There might have been a really tight one that I just missed. So this is the one where I kept going for it, what felt like forever, and I felt like it just looped back. What? Oh my god. We had gone the right way the first time originally, but then apparently died in the process.
Bonza!
Bonza. Wait, is that the last one?
The talismans are back where they belong. Order is restored, and chaos has been averted.
Oh
All
my
thanks
god.
to you, Ty the Tasmanian tiger.
You're
No problem,
welcome.
mate. I'm just doing my job.
Holy shit. Is that mom and dad? Oh wait, no. That's the slut that I'm dating. Wait, no, that's... Who are they? Is that his parents? Were they stolen? I don't even fucking remember how this game was... Were they... Oh, his parents are probably stolen or some shit. Woo! Man, I really don't feel like I won. This was a really simple game, honestly, for young children. Is this the part where I tell stories about my youth? And like summer vacation and like the things that I would do on summer vacation? No, I forgot the main plot of the game. Did you know what I did once? I don't remember if this was just a dream, but I swear when I went to Florida once, when I was a kid, that we drank out of coconuts. Okay, let me turn this down. I have a story to tell. I'm gonna see if I can go on a long tangent. When I was a kid, we went to Florida and we went to Cocoa Beach, and I swear to God, we were in these coconut huts and we drank out of coconuts. Like, they put drinks in the coconuts. And then I remember when we would go back home, it was still summer vacation, and I would take oranges, I think, and I would cut the orange in half and scoop out the orange, and then I would use the orange.
The game's over. Go read a book or something.
And then he said go read a book or something. And then I would open the orange, and then I would put orange juice in the orange as a cup. Isn't that fucking next level? I was the coolest kid on the planet. And you might ask, what did you do with the orange that you ripped out? I threw it in the garbage. No, I think I ate it. Dude, we were always in and out of the house, like barefooted, like dirty bare feet, run straight into the house, straight out through the back door, playing in a sprinkler. Fucking, I told you the story about how I used to make water parks in the backyard. And as part of a water park, you need a bathroom, right? So we'd have like a whole bunch of water features, you know, like the sprinkler, and we had like a sprinkler inside of a tent, and we had another sprinkler, and then we had the hose running down the slide into the pool. It was awesome. And then behind the tent with the sprinkler, we put a bucket, and we said, haha, see, make pretend that's the toilet. And our neighbor friend shit in it. Literally shit in the bucket. I don't remember what we did with it. Office handyman, Grant Roberts. Chase, is that your brother? What's the weirdest place you've taken a shit before? I would say... You know what? I actually don't have any stories for this one. Unless my pants counts. And then that was yesterday. Elmo. All the kids who helped out with focus testing. Alia, Dennis, Callum, Aaron, blah, 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 blah. Elmo. Kev at the pizza store. Andrew at the toy store. And all the staff at the local eateries. Big Fish Audio and Peter Sproker. In memory of Mitch Miles, Tim Eifert. What happened? Luke is no longer pooping his pants, so he has advanced beyond you. I bet he still can't beat me in Mario Kart yet, though. After this, after the credits, we're gonna keep playing. But as far as the next game goes, I'm gonna play Mr. Mosquito. You know where you suck blood out of the lady's tits? There's a lot of people in these credits. Wait, why is the cast so low? Is it repeating? Did it repeat? I mean, the music changed. Why is there a fly in my house? Go zap yourself. I mean, I don't see why special thanks would happen and then the credits of who was the voices of what. Also, Bill Farmer did a lot of things. Ooh, the voice director was in Melbourne, but everything else was in fucking California. Oh wait, never mind. The voices were in Brisbane. Animal Logic. Oh my god. Can we finish? Is there after credits? There's no way this didn't repeat. Let me just press a button. Oh, it just pauses.
Well, go on. Scoot.
What? Oh! We didn't see an image before. think that's the end. EA! Hold on, I gotta turn this back up. Something happened. Why did they put the voice actors at the end?
Sorry, mate.
How dare you? That cost a lot of money.
Wicked!
Wicked! That costs a lot of money. Wicked! Ooh, drawings. Who drew this? Bikini Bodhi. Geo, the yokai guy. I'm gonna get in trouble for this. Honestly, this game seems really kawaii and wholesome, like on the back end. Like, I feel like the team really just had fun. Xhilyn? Whoa, there's something going on with my chat. Whenever...
What are you still doing here? The game's over. Go read a book or something.
Whenever Kimthi types, it's doing a weird thing. Like, what? I'm so confused. Let me resize the chat window. It's not fixing itself. I need to like open chat in the browser, I guess. I mean, it's working now, and it's not even that the badge was just being text, it's that your text wasn't text. Like it says Down Under Gamer. You know, I don't understand this because they're making this seem like different kids made these drawings, but it's all the same art style. Like, who drew all these? I guess these are just the names of the characters. I mean, it seems fine now. Crudberry Jones. This one's got a Pokeball. And an Eevee! They're gonna get in trouble. This is some furry shit. I did go from 3 to 4 hats, because it's part 4. This game was insufficiently furry? We have to get furrier. This is some weird off-brand Sonic. Star Fox Adventures. Is that where you walk around? Is that different than like Star Fox? Fox? Look at this slutty alligator. This same artist drew all of these things. Like they literally put their art at the end. They just draw a lot of furry art, and it's all here at the end. Are these drawings of, like, the people on the team? I don't know what Star Fox Adventures is exactly. Is that like Ratchet and Clank up your ass? Nicole. I'm getting angry at these credits. Holy shit! What did Kimthy type? Oh, I think I see at the top of the screen. Wait, it just looks like a bunch of broken emotes. What? I'm so confused. The emotes do pop on screen. What do you mean? Oh my god, all my emotes are broken. Okay, when these credits are over, we're restarting. Kickstarter. This was... Kickstarter existed back then? It's not just you, it's anyone using any icon ever. Daniela and Zonic. Oh, I have the tappy thing. What do you mean this isn't that old of a game? This isn't from like 2001? I thought I was playing like an old game from people's youth. Oh! The remake. I forgot this is the PC remake. Hey, it's Ziggy. Can this end? Can I scroll this away?
Well, go on. Scoot.
If I press escape, it just pauses. Pressing enter doesn't do anything. The music got faster, but that wasn't because of me. The arrow doesn't do anything. Spacebar doesn't do anything. We have to sit through the whole thing. Escape just pauses it.
How dare you? That cost a lot of money.
Wicked!
Oh my god, it's gotta be at the end, right? It's gotta be at the end, right? I wanted to keep playing. Should I just close the game? The arrows don't do anything. Oh! S, 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 S. You know, like WASD? Fuck yes! Come on. No, I didn't try S. I used all the arrow keys. Because the thing is, I've been playing on controller, and so I didn't think about... I need this to end. We're in the J's, you guys. If there's nothing at the end... I do have chalk right here, and I've been fiending for it, but I didn't want to be, like, weird, so I didn't grab it. But now that you guys mentioned it, I'm gonna grab a piece of chalk and eat it.
What are you still doing here? The game's over. Go read a book or something.
Eh. Why is the chalk not coming out of the box? Oh, where's the Z's? Wait, it doesn't bake again! What? What did it say at the beginning? It just went back to A again. No, this is a different set because see how short the list is? Oh my god, I think we're at the end. Are you fucking kidding me? Wow. At least we got to eat chop. Alright, we gotta go to the, yeah, I know. We gotta go get, like, more of our boomerangs. I know there's more.
I see you've gathered enough cogs, Ty, to get the machine going again. Jolly good. Let's see what we have this time. Oh, magnificent, Ty. It's a kaboomerang!
Whoa!
This ring is equipped with enough explosive force to destroy even the largest of rocks. You should have some fun with this one. Yes, yes, yes.
Holy shit.
Beauty!
There's only been a few times that there have been big rocks.
Excellent work, my boy. Excellent.
Alright, so there's still another boomerang to get.
Already? Fine, 15 golden.
How do I get to the cog menu? I know how to do this, but I don't remember how to get to the menu that I... Wow, it's just... Alright, we're missing one. Holy fuck! That's a nuke! Well, I remember there is an area, actually, that's blocked off. Not right here, but there's somewhere where there's something behind it, but I'm pretty sure there was a rock in the way. Let's see if we can find it. Not that there's necessarily post-game shit, it's that there's still a bunch to complete. Guess this doesn't count as a big rock. Okay. I need the infrarang. I swear it was up there, but... Oh! A creepy noise. Nice. Okay, well we got that at least. Maybe this is just the area that I couldn't get into, but I swear it looked different. There was like a more open area. Oh. Alright, let's look at our stats here. There's one more thing to get. Picture. This one's 100%. This one's missing some things. This one's missing 1 cogwheel exactly. Wait, no, this one needs 10 more picture frames. Oh my god, this one had 24. A lot of the older ones, we didn't get as many things because we didn't have the infraring. We need to go back to like the beginning. Almost. Like, this one we didn't get any picture frames. Okay. Let's use the infraring on the first level. Find those little box bitches. Those little slutty boxes with the picture frames in it. Oh. That's not where we needed to go. Bum 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 bum. Where is it? Oh. Nice. Alright, got everything for the main overworld thing. No, we need to go to... Yeah, 2 up. 2 thumbs up. Wait, that's shipwrecks! Fuck! God damn it.
Great Barrier Reef.
Guess we're doing this one.
Fish, friendly natives, and inviting sandy
At least I hear
beaches.
things already.
It's a beaut spot for a swim if you know how.
Shut up, fucker. I'm so good at this game. You guys don't even know. You think you know because you've been watching, but you don't know because off screen, I'm doing even more damage. What the hell? Wow, 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 wow. The crabbies. I love the crabbies. Woo! Hi, Ty. You wanna infest my womb with your sperminator? Ty, will you get my husband pregnant? Is that what it is? Are seahorses like cucking, getting cucked? Because the man seahorse gets pregnant, so the wife has to go find a slutty little Tasmanian tiger to knock up the husband, and while the girl jerks off. Is that what's happening? Oh wait, I'm missing stuff, apparently. So we're not at 300 yet. I thought it would reset all the orbs. No one's gonna say anything about the cucking seahorse thing I said. You guys are too accepting of me and who I am. Wait, those are orbs. Nice. A cucking seahorse? Yeah, you missed it. It's fine. You're gonna have to pay next time I make a funny joke. You guys are gonna have to pay more than your monthly subscription. How do we get up here? Oh. Not as hard as I seem, as I look. It's not as hard as I am. Hold on, my ass hurts. Hold on. And there's still right here to go to. Don't remember what that is. Hey, which way is that? It's there. What's that? Up there. That's where we're gonna find all the things. Except that there's a thing in the way that I should be able to swim right over if this was real life. Ooh, that's creepy. There's a big black hole. You like that? 'Cause I hate it.
Careful, Ty.
Shut up.
These eels look pretty.
Shut up. I don't need your worry, ma'am.
Follow me.
Can't see.
Stay out of the way of those.
Oh my god, shut up! Bitch. My toy. We need to get up on this swirly mountain. I see boxes up there too. I need me another good summer game with lots of water, like Mario Sunshine 2 that doesn't exist. Whoa! I don't understand what we would have missed at the top of this. Maybe we need to play a Little Mermaid game. Don't dilly dally, it's your big finale shot. Maybe I need to play Kingdom Hearts 2. Maybe we need to play Pirates of the Caribbean Sexcapades.com/Elsa and Spider-Man. Alright, there's something up here. I mean, we've been up here, but there's something else we're missing. It shows there's something... Maybe it's showing it's off into the distance here. Or like in the water here. I mean, I do see something. That's just food. I don't get it. I guess we're gonna just go for it. Woo! There's a button. I think we've done this before, though. Wait, I'm in the... I thought I was going up this way. How did I end up down here? I went the wrong fucking way! We went the wrong fucking way! Alright, what about over here? Yeah, surely this is where we need to be. Oh! The last one is if we get the full set of 300. We need to find 7 more. Damn it. Where am I gonna find the remaining? Wow, 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 wow. Maybe they're over here because we haven't been over here much. Look at this weird broken sand bit. Oh, it's a rock. It's a rock! Okay, well, the extra bits are not over here. So, let's keep going. Not in the area with the spiral thing. Maybe it's over here in the shark area because we didn't explore enough since we would have died. I don't see any. need the infrared. Oh wait, I can't put it on right now. Can't put it on when you're underwater. Oh yeah. Have you guys ever seen sharks in real life? Not at a aquarium? Like just out in the ocean? Oh. I thought this was a friendly fish that did something. No, there's no things over here. This looks like a secret area. It's not secret enough though. Alright, it's not through here. Ooh, we could play a fishing game. Let's check this. I feel like we've already done all this before. They have like anime fishing games from like early 1990s. Oh, I forgot I don't have the infrared on. I mean, it's pretty good. Sure, they have a more relaxing version. There's one more box with a picture frame in it somewhere. Hello. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, I don't remember how to get out there. I was looking away. I forgot I was gonna restart I don't know, the chat window on the side. 'Cause do I just shake left and right? Yes. Because my chat's all glitched out. No, I didn't explore this area too much. There could be boxes here. me tie the Tasmanian tiger to sleep and jerk off to. Oh god. There we go. We didn't die. For once. Oh god. It was supposed to be that I knocked these shits down. But then there's nothing at the end here. Unless there's secret boxes. Where are your secret boxes? What? Oh no. We've already got that one. It just showed it anyway. Sustenance. Alright, it's gotta be this way. I'm like really far away this way. There's a seahorse, bitch. This is like the start of the level. Oh my god, I thought those pots right there were boxes. I was gonna say, if they're just right here. I know, it's so nice. With a little tiki bar. Look how nice this is. It's got a nice little deep end right here. The only place that we haven't looked hard enough would just be like here now. been everywhere. What the? That freaked me out. Alright, we literally looked everywhere on this map. Wow. Na 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 ma 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 ma. Oi, Sheila. Aren't you a mighty fine Sheila? Maybe if I hit this fish, he shoots out stuff. Nope. Hello, fishy. May I eat your roe? Your roe? So wait, is this extra stuff? No, it's like completionist stuff. We need... There's a lot of things here. Look, at the top right. 293 out of 300. So there's orbs missing. And there's 2 cogwheels missing. And there's 1 picture missing. And there's 1 red gem missing. So there's gotta be like a whole area that I'm not seeing. Well, no, the gem is from collecting all the orbs. Have I been in this little nook? I don't remember what this little nook is. Oh no, that's the starting area with the pool. We've checked all over here. Although this makes it seem like you can go on here, but I mean, I think I was on there, just not on the top. Oh, we haven't been to the ship in a while. That's one area we haven't been to. That's somewhere up here. But I don't remember how to get up there. I totally forgot how to get to the ship area because we had a hard time getting there in the first place. Because it's like you have to go up this way. But then they only give you this coconut way. They don't give you the way up that way. I can't remember. Maybe there was a swimming... I think there was a swimming under the water area to get there. Oh, wait. Oh god. That's not what I wanted. Now I'm stuck. Get out of the water. Get out of the water. Apparently this is going under somewhere new. No, it's not. This is not the right way. Hold on. Alright, come up here. And then you go over here. And there's a new hole. That's it. Oh god. I just want to make sure this is set up right where you guys can see. Okay. Oh. I got turned around. Alright, this area has got to have everything we need. Surely. Ooh! There's one. We're doing it. Welcome back from your hibernation. Have you lost all your hibernation fat? Wait, was that all of them? That wasn't all of them. No, we need one more. There's one more. There's one more orb thing. You might need to sleep off the rest of the hibernation fat. I don't need these, but... There must be an orb under here. We're only missing one. There's no way. only missing one. Why was I switching? Oh. Oh my god. Let me see the beat. Rock, whatever it is. I need my singular thingamajig. I don't think we're ever gonna beat this. Fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're never gonna beat this game.
This Billabong.
This is the OG song. Why does it show that I got none of the orbs here? Like, what? Why did it reset it? No, I did beat it, but the thing is, in this menu, it should show my full gameplay's worth of things. See, it shows all these things, but I didn't get any orbs? Oh no, because I got all 300. Okay. I guess they resetted them if you've already actually gotten them all and then got the gem for it. Alright, whatever. Okay. And we just need to get the infraring shit that we're hearing. Nice. Remember when we first started this game? Oh god. We were brand new. Everything was fresh. We had no idea what was to come. We never knew that we would have these infraring abilities. We never knew that this would matter, even though it doesn't. We didn't know that we would have a girlfriend by the end of the game. We didn't know that Ty would get it deep in his ass. How do I get over there? furry girl I'm talking to is weird? No, it's meant to be. That's what you're destined to be with, is a furry girl. You know, they're just nice and cuddly. Oh, my little pop furry! Oh, that's my koala friend. Oh, you know what we should do? Because I'm not playing this just to kill time. And a little bit because I want to find the rest of the boxes, but like I'm not going to find it in that other level, so I should just give up, right? You know what we should do? Because you know what I really want to do? Play Peek. By myself. I want to see if I can do it by myself. I want to see how far I get all by my lonesome. I love just smacking it and shutting it the fuck up. Just two more. Wow, 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 wow.
It's about time you got...
Excuse me? Ooh, I told you, there's always things behind the waterfall. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, I guess I needed to kill 7 of them for some reason. Oh, that's probably what the bird wanted me to do. Oh my god, stop it! He looked like he turned his whole back around. How do we get over there? Fuckarino. Fuckarino, fuckarino, fuckarino. Can I get up there? No. Oh my god, that's so far away! How do you even get up there? about to give up. Oh, there's a cave. Did we make it to the area? This looks like a new area. I mean, we've probably been here before because we got all this shit. We got all the other shit. Oh my god, fuck off! Wow, 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 wow. Gotti. Alright, this one's done. I mean, this is pretty good. We did almost everything. This one seems like we missed some stuff though, but I want to play Peak. What do you guys think?